Behind the cape. All right, so we're starting off today with a funny story from who many people might know as Lip from Shameless. Jeremy Allen White.
And the bear.
Yes, and the bear, absolutely.
Oh my God, yeah.
Jeremy Allen White says, I had a meeting for a kind of Marvel-y movie and I had an attitude. I think I played it all wrong. I said, tell me about why I should do your movie. They were like, fuck you. And I was like, right on. Right on.
That is fucking hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. But he's doing that new wrestling series though. There's a new wrestling. I don't know if it's a film or if it's a series. I'm pretty sure it's a series though.
I vaguely remember hearing about that. The Iron Claw. It's about it's with Zac Efron. That's why.
Yes,
I think I remember.
I was trying to think of the other guy who was connected to it because it was like 2 interviews back to back. They were talking to Efron on some Zac carpet. Some Zac carpet is nuts.
Yikes.
Some black carpet. And he was kind of talking about his role and, you know, his history with wrestling and blah, 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 blah. And then dude was giving a much more in-depth talk about it, about how much goes into the storylines, right? Like, if you really are into wrestling or have been for a number of years, you understand that it's much more of a soap opera than it is a sport.
Yeah.
Right? And you're watching it much more akin to the reasons why you watch anime than to the reasons why you watch NFL or NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the major parts of that business and why people consume it. And so it seems like they both get it. I'm excited to see the movie.
Actually, it looks like that's coming out December 22nd. And your boy Chavo is going to be in it.
Chavo
Guerrero.
Have fun with that.
Yikes.
But yeah, no, this quote was hilarious. To think that he might have told Nate Moore or Kevin Feige, why should I be in your movie? And then they turned around and looked at him and said, fuck you, is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
That is.
Because I know they was probably looking at it like, let me check your list here. Okay. Shameless? Is that it? Shameless? Yo, get this guy the fuck out of here. Call Damson Idris back. Let's see what he's doing.
Damson Idris.
Call Jodie Turner back. See what she's doing.
Yo.
Let's see what she's doing. Let's fucking around with this guy. Shameless? Are you serious? First of all, you know what? Better yet, I got another one. Call the guy from Fargo. Call Frank Gallagher. Get him in here. We'll find somewhere for him to play. This guy.
That's crazy.
Where have you been for the last 3 years, sir? Shameless? Okay, yeah. Anyways, screw this guy. Now, what's interesting, though, what if that casting call happened today?
I think
Think about how differently that talk would have been. Because I'm thinking that was probably, at least 5 years to a decade ago, if it was that obviously stupid to make a statement like that.
Yes.
So then, think about whether or not, because we've heard reports about people turning down roles in Marvel recently because of the creative direction, the writing, this, that, and the third. And that's just on the actor side. Mm-hmm. On the writer-director side, it's been even more than that. Well, maybe not necessarily to, Marvel too. Marvel and Lucasfilm, both of them having creative differences with the directors or the writers, or them, completely shitting down their leg on a script and having to get booted. So
plus with him having the bear under, on his resume.
Yeah, no, I think he'd have a little bit better of an argument now. Now, is he going to play, you know what? Could you see Lip as Richard Rider? Maybe. I could see that. Nova?
Yeah.
I can't think of any distinct characteristics from Richard Rider that would preclude him. I don't know if he's not that tall, or at least not that noticeably tall that it would be a problem for him to play him.
Yeah. Is that Nova movie still going to have Homeboy doing it?
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, let's get Michael Bay on a Nova movie right now.
Yikes.
Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. What's next?
Disney is going to license certain titles to Netflix. I don't know if that's going to have to do anything with the Marvel Spotlight thing.
You mean like exactly how it was before we took all of the titles off of Netflix and moved them over to Disney Plus?
Absolutely.
You mean like that?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I just feel like they're going to give them Spotlight, and then it's basically going to be the same thing.
That would make sense, but then why would you do that with an external company like Netflix, a competitor, instead of paying the price to own Hulu solely and putting it on Hulu? Or why not have a Marvel Spotlight tab on Disney Plus the same way you have a Marvel, the same way you have a Lucasfilm Star Wars one. You have a they have one for all of the film series that they have underneath there. They have one for the classic animated tab. They have one for children. They got like you have all different type of like categories up there that you can select from. Why wouldn't Disney Spotlight be one of them?
I guess that makes sense. But then Marvel Spotlight being on Netflix would basically just make the same shows that were on Netflix.
The exact same shows.
Yeah.
The exact same shows. I'm baffled by this. If it ends up coming to pass, I don't really. And then on top of that, you're helping keep your competitor viable. It's like they treat Netflix like it's some secondary market, and it's not a viable competitor to the streaming service that they already have. And to be truthful, Netflix is kicking Disney Plus's teeth in. Subscriber count, month-to-month subscriber count, month-to-month viewership hours. They're kicking teeth down their throat currently. So why give them even more content by which to dominate you with? Because they're obviously going to be watching that content on Netflix and not Disney Plus. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, Netflix ad revenue news. The fact that they are not going to allow ads on binge marathons, essentially.
Yeah, so the way it read to me was basically the lower tier packages for Netflix, the ones that will come with ads, will have an opportunity not to see those ads when you're binging. All right, so if you've watched 3, 4, 5 episodes in a row, chances are the ads have dwindled down to nil at a certain point in your continuous watching, which is how it should be. Right? Most people engage with streaming services to disengage with the standard viewing model, which is filled with ads and commercials. That's what most people got on these apps for in the first place. And now, with every turning year, they are getting closer and closer to looking like cable packages on the internet. And that is all they are. That's all they are different cable packages and actually more restrictive cable packages, because at least with a cable package, you're forced to take a little bit of everything. There's more variety.
Yeah.
More randomness, more of a unpredictable nature in what you're going to be receiving viewership wise. If you are only buying content from one company, it's going to tend to lean towards whatever ideology or whatever feeling, tone that company provides. It's going to be, in a sense, one complete product. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I think Netflix's model, if they have to go to a model like that, is a little bit more user-friendly than, surprise! Here's 7 ad breaks in Loki.
Facts. All right. Coyote versus Acme. Seems like you got some news on that front.
Man, that kind of hurt me, man. So apparently Warner Brothers shot a movie about Wile E. Coyote called Coyote versus Acme. That is finished. It's done. It has been tested. Apparently, it's been doing great in early screeners. They actually had a couple of interested buyers who were thinking about maybe purchasing the film and releasing it on their platforms or through their studio. Mm-hmm. Warner Brothers has declined, and is going to take a $30 million write-off for this. So we know it probably, costs something around there. You don't usually recoup all of the funds that were spent to produce it. But let's say, for argument's sake, that they spent double the $30 million and to create this film. They spent $60 million making a 2D animation film that tested well. Mm-hmm. This is the type of decision-making that continues to remind me that these are just human beings making this decision. They are not all-powerful, all-knowing beings that are better than the normal man, and that's why they make the money that they make and make the decisions that they make. I think it's oversight. I think it is due to a hyper-focus on revamping the DC universe, a hyper-focus on trying to solidify what they feel like is their path forward, and to do that, and it may be fiscal. It could be fiscal as well. It could be a money thing. I haven't seen DC putting up a whole lot of revenue drivers lately, so it absolutely could be a money thing. But at the end of the day, if something with a low overhead, like a 2D animation film, is testing well for you,
put it out.
I would put it out, especially when that's in conjunction with what you have going on with screeners for some of your other films that you spent an exorbitant amount of money on, upwards of $100 million on to shoot, and it's tested worse than the ZO2s on NBA courts. Tested terribly. Tested so terribly, and you have to test it so often that people essentially know what's going to happen in the movie already.
Yeah.
Because you tested it that often. But that movie makes it to a light of day. A 2D animation film that probably cost you less than $50 million. Let's be honest. You're going to take a tax, and it's not even that much of a tax write-off either. That's why I'm struggling with the idea that they're just saving dollars by doing this. At least with Batgirl, they probably saved themselves $100 million, maybe a couple $100 million by not releasing it. You didn't $30 million? Fraction of Zav's fucking yearly bonus? Come on, man. I don't think that was worth it.
Especially for a movie I would have gone and seen.
I would have seen it. That's something that you probably could have released as streaming only on HBO.
Yeah.
On HBO Max. Who is watching HBO Max and for what these days?
We are for rap shit.
Damn. Well, besides us, obviously.
I was going to say, I haven't touched.
We watch almost every. We watch Peacock, Prime, Netflix, Amazon. Or Prime is Amazon. Netflix, Max. There aren't too many streaming services we're not watching. We clearly don't count everyone else.
I haven't touched Max in a while before this anyway, so.
It's not like you're just straight on content. If you have something that people seem to like, man, give it to them. Who knows? What if Warner Brothers is able to revamp the 2D animation space and dominate it? How about you zig when everybody else is zagging?
Could work for you.
Oh, man, too much. Too much to do.
All right, so we've got the first week of Marvel's numbers in.
Okay.
It opened worldwide with 110.3 million. With domestic, hang on one second. With a $47 million domestic opening.
Hang good.
Which is the worst MCU opening weekend of all time.
Yeah, you would expect a movie like this to perform a little bit better domestically than it does internationally. Just barely over $100 million in the first weekend. If we anticipate that, it takes its standard Marvel 55 to 60% drop on the second week, this movie is heading towards a pretty hard drop in the second week. And then it doesn't really seem to have the rewatch or legs. Well, I guess we won't know what kind of legs it has on it for a couple of weeks. We'll have to wait to see that. Early reactions, though, is not really telling me that, this is a must-see or something that you're going to go back and watch again. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently there is an after-credit scene that's pretty popular. Maybe that'll help drum up some crowdage to continue milking. But if that's the case, like if I got to wait to the end of the damn movie to see the exciting part, I'd rather just wait till it hits YouTube.
Yeah.
That is not really a motivator to get people to come out and watch movies the way it was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So Yeah, I think they're just going to have a tough time. Will it be the worst MCU project, worst performing MCU project, worst performing superhero content ever? I don't think so. I don't think. I tried my damnedest to watch The Flash the other night on TV, and I couldn't make it through. I just went to sleep. Yep. But I don't think it'll be quite that bad. The reviews I've heard aren't that bad about it in terms of the quality of the movie. But in terms of it making its money, it's a long shot. A long shot, to say the least.
Yeah. Also, John Wick Chapter 5 is reportedly in the works now.
Yo.
Obviously, the last movie we seen came to a pretty final
John
closing.
Wick got a baby running around somewhere we don't know about, because I don't want to see the actual John Wick. Unless it's like maybe it's a prequel.
Could be.
If it's a prequel, I could connecting Continental in the John Wick movies.
Could be.
A space filler.
Yeah.
They still got to tell us how Yen had a baby. He named him John.
John.
I shall name him John.
Yeah, there's got to be something, and it can't be. You've made it too final, so it obviously can't be anything after. So,
but damn, he very clearly died. We buried him and everything, and I would hate for it to have all been a fake out. And they just step over that ending.
Yeah.
So we got to pivot, and then it sounds like they have an idea where they want to go with it.
I think they know that people don't want to see that.
I'm interested to see where they're going for the fifth movie.
Yeah.
How they're going to bring it back.
Agreed. I don't know. We'll have to see.
What do you think they'll do? What did you think about the rest of the topics we talked about today? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for some more Behind the Cape.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out our previous Behind the Cape where we talked about Jonathan Majors not being in the MCU anymore. And then make sure that you check out the playlist full of Behind the Cape episodes from previous weeks. And obviously subscribe, because we'll be doing this once a week.